When the time comes for the Imam to arrive, what is the state of the Shia at the time? Are we still doing azhar? Are we like we are right now?
That's a crazy point you threw in there as well. Is the marja'iyya going to be the way it is when the Imam comes?
So, unfortunately, the ikhtilaf within the Shia will increase.
So are you saying there's going to be more ikhtilaf than it is now?
One of the narrations says that on the day of Jum'ah, outside Masjid al-Kufa, some sort of a clash will take place which will lead to the killing of 4,000 men.
Oh, have you heard the beheading of scholars? Yeah, the Imam beheading scholars. What about the Shia cities that we have? Tehran, Qom, Baghdad, Najaf, Karbala.
There are, of course, these cities that have been mentioned. We'll start with maybe one.
Yeah, why are you being so pessimistic, man? It's making it seem
That's
like
what
it's the
it
end
sounds
of the
like, though, you know?
You might say the signs are dark and there's bloodshed and there's war. It's not that 12th Imam is making it that the earth will be filled with injustice, but the bright side is the Imam will fill it with justice.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, and welcome to the Shia Vibes podcast, the podcast that discusses different themes, topics and subjects within the Shia community. And I'm very glad and happy to announce the return of Sayyid Muhammad Ali Rizvi, who we discussed Mahdawiya with, and inshallah we're going to have another discussion with the Sayyid and also our brother Sheikh? Yes, we're going to call you Sheikh today.
Take it easy. Relax, take a step back.
Hussein Sukhni, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sayyidina, welcome back to the Shia Vibes.
Thank you for having me. It's been a while.
Indeed it has.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Good to catch up. Likewise, thank you.
Hussein Sukhni, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali
Pir Mola
Madad.
Madad.
Pir Mola Ali Madad.
How you been? You okay?
Wallah, alhamdulillah, everything's good.
Look a bit tired.
Bro, don't let me get into it, please.
But God bless you and your family.
Thank you so much. Jazakallah.
Sayyidina, last time we had you, we were discussing Imam Zaman. We talked about different hadiths. We talked about, prophecies. MashaAllah, great response from the public. They really enjoyed it. You personally, how do you feel about the topic of Mahdawiya? Do you think it's something we don't touch upon enough? Something we don't give focus on in the community? Is our Imam neglected, God forbid?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's obviously the most important topic right now with what's happening around the world, the wars, the fear, the khawf, and the ever-changing situation in the Middle East. And not only the Middle East, but worldwide, West, East. Everybody's talking about peace. Everybody wants justice. Everybody wants an end to the war. And I think I said this in my last podcast that from the Shia point of view, it's clear. There's only one man who can bring peace. There's only one man who can instill justice. And that is, of course, established from our rawayat and narrations that the 12th Imam is somebody who would fill the earth with justice as it would have been filled with oppression. كَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. So, right now, it's more important to speak about Mahdawiyyah than perhaps any other topic, I feel. And is the Imam oppressed? I think the Imam is being discussed, but we can always do more because there's so much to explore. What's interesting, however, is that the scholars mentioned that the narrations that are to do with Mahdawiyyah or Imam al-Mahdi ﷺ are more in number than probably any other subject within Islam. Marhum Ayatollah Sheikh Safi Lutfullah Gul Paygani has a book on Mahdawiyyah. He was an expert in the field of Mahdawiyyah. He gathers the narrations in the hundreds and thousands from both Sunni and Shia sources. The point being, in short, there is no ikhtilaf on Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. When it comes to Sunni and Shia, they both believe in his coming or his birth. There will be essentially an Imam who is Imam al-Mahdi.
So, what is the situation like when it comes to the Shia community? For example, myself, Sayyid Sukhni, yourself, Sayyid, we're all involved in the Shia community. And we're here, we're waiting, anticipating, we're praying for our Imam. When the time comes for the Imam to arrive, what is the state of the Shia at the time? Are they still strong in numbers? Are we still doing azhar? Are we still commemorating about Abdullah al-Hussein? Are we still with the Ahlulbayt? Do we still have the marja'iyya system? Are we like we are right now? Or is it a case of a lot of the Shia have kind of like turned back on their religion. A lot of the Shia have weak iman.
That was a crazy point you threw in there as well. Is the Marja'iyya going to be the way it is when the Imam comes? It's interesting that you brought that in there.
Yes, a lot of interesting points.
Yeah.
What's like the situation of the Shia
I think the
when the
situation-
Imam arrives?
Right, so you mentioned a lot of points. I'll just touch on a few, and then we can open how
Hey,
you like.
bombarded the Said with that. Like, take it easy, Mohsin.
The podcast in one question done.
There's more coming. There's more coming.
Alhamdulillah, the good news is the A'za of Imam Hussein alayhi salam will continue ila yawm al-qiyamah.
Alhamdulillah. Rabbil Alameen.
And the evidence for that is the hadith that when Imam Hussein alayhi salam is born, Rasulullah carries him and he begins to weep. As you know, the famous narration, Jibra'il descends upon the Prophet and he tells him about what will happen in the land of Karbala in Nainawa. And he begins to cry, and Sayyidah Fatima says, this is not a time to cry, it's a time to celebrate. In short, Rasulullah, when he tells Sayyidah Fatima what will happen to Imam Hussein, she says, will his father Ali be there? No, he won't be there. Will his brother Hassan be there? No, he won't be there. Will I be there? No, Fatima. So, Ya Rasulullah, who will cry for Hussein? And then the Prophet says, Allah will raise a qawm. Allah will raise a nation who will weep for your Hussein until the day of judgment. So yes, to answer your question, the A'za, Azadari, Majalis, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, insha'Allah, will exist until the day of judgment,
Inshallah.
until the end of the world, essentially. And so will the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Salamullah.
Because there's another hadith in Kamilu Ziyarat where Sayyidah Zainab, she says to Imam Sajjad, when Imam Sajjad is being paraded past the body of his father, when they become captives of Banu Umayyah, and he begins to cry, and she says, look, I don't see the signs of the grave of your father ever being erased from the face of the earth. In fact, I see the signs of the grave increasing. And you see that today, especially after the fall of Saddam.
Yeah.
When I read this hadith, subhanAllah, I was like, wow, this is in fact evidence of the fact that Sayyidah Zainab had ilmul ghaib as well. And this from Kamilu Ziyarat, this book is going back 1,000 years, Shaykh Ja'far Qawlawi, that I only see the signs of this grave increasing. In other words, the a'za increasing, the mourners,
Okay,
the
so that's
zawar.
what. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Because remember, it was destroyed in the times of the Abbasids.
The Abbasids, yeah, Rahmatullah alayhi.
But then it came back. And then it was just Mutawakkil. A few times he destroyed the grave of Imam Hussein Ali. Then it came back. And look at it today. I mean, when you fly over Karbala, you see nothing except two shining golden domes.
Correct, yeah.
Indeed.
Right? However, on the other hand, unfortunately, the ikhtilaf within the Shia will increase on certain matters. For example, the moon sight is explicitly mentioned in the ahadith. There will be difference of opinion.
We've already got that now.
Yeah, the points that you make is this will happen, but all these, it's happening now.
So, yes, so it's one of those. So, certain signs are close to dhuhr, certain signs are ba'id. Some are qareeb, some are ba'id.
Some are imminent.
Some are straight away, close to dhuhr, some are
Build up.
Some build up to it. So, this is one of them that is building up.
Okay.
There will be differences of opinion. Moon sighting is one of them. There will be ikhtilaf, unfortunately. The hadith do mention these things. Sometimes you see them. It could be on a range of issues. And it seems that this is something that may continue until the dhuhr.
So are you saying there's going to be more ikhtilaf than it is now?
It could be, yes. Yeah. It could be. It could get worse.
We're already on the brink of war.
I think we've got enough.
Yeah.
We have enough
No, inshallah, we're
ikhtilaf.
not.
You know, I don't think it's that bad. I think there's only small groups that make it worse than
And
it seems,
ikhtilaf
yeah.
doesn't mean war.
It doesn't. It just means...
It could be a difference of opinion.
difference
It
of
could be
opinion,
academic. It could be...
So it's not that bad. I don't think so.
I mean, having a difference of opinion in fiqh, I can understand because people come to derive
Yes,
to different
even
conclusions.
jurisprudence.
That's fine.
Between
That's
fuqaha,
understandable.
Even between fuqaha. It's,
But that's understandable, isn't it, Sayyid? But like in aqaid, that's something serious. Like,
But when the 12th Imam comes, it's one. Amrul Wahid. One Amr.
mashallah.
Everything is one.
Wow.
So until then, it's going to happen. So that's one of the affairs of the alamat of dhuhr, that the Shia at that time will have some disputes, internal disputes among them as well. However, this is amongst the signs which lead us only close to the 12th Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. Not that, God forbid, the system will collapse or something will happen that will weaken the Shia. No. For that we have other narrations where the 12th Imam says, we pray for you. We remember you. We make dua for you. Some of these letters that have come to come to light, where he clearly mentions that we make certain prayers, we make certain du'as, and
But it's not like, for example, the Qawm of Musa alayhi salam, where they were captives and slaves, weren't they? Really, it's not going to be a case where the Shia are very, very oppressed. We have no freedoms. We have to practice, underground, which unfortunately is in some areas, some cities in the world. The Shias can't openly come out and say we are Shia.
And it's happened throughout history since, like you mentioned, Dawla al-Abbasiyah. They used to cut off the limbs of those that go to ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So it's happened in the past as well. It got better. It's going to get
Will
worse.
it be like that in the time of the Imam?
in the time of the Imam, no, not in the time of the Imam, but we have gone through phases, and maybe we will go through phases. But the point being is that, look, as much as dhulm will increase, there will always be salihin in the earth as well. It's not that dhulm will completely wipe out every last righteous person. It's possible that sometimes you go through a stage of taqiyya, you go through a few years where you went through COVID, for example, we went through the Abbasids, we went through the Umayyads, and we went through the Saddams and the ISIS. Sometimes you may go to the lower part of the graph, and then the graph rises again. So it's going to be like this. And
sounds like the graph is always on the lower part.
For some of us, the trend is always low. But,
No, I think that it depends on the situation. It depends how you take it. There is, as I said, there is an opportunity in every calamity. It depends how you.
I like that.
It depends how you
I love it. Yeah.
look at the situation. And at the end of the day, for the mu'min who has the love of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, belief in Imam Mahdi, for him there is always light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, why are we being so pessimistic, man? It's not that we're making it seem
That's
like
what
it's
it
the end of
sounds like, though. Normally when the coming of, let's say, the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was some who were waiting for his arrival, and the rest of them were just like, charging extortionate prices for goods for Hajj.
No, so by the way, with the alamat of the zuhur, it's just that's how the world will be at that time.
Okay.
Not that Imam Mahdi is making the world like this and then he's coming. You might say the signs are dark and there's bloodshed and there's war and there's pandemics and epidemics. It's not that 12th Imam is making it that.
That's just the environment.
That's just how
the state of the environment.
That's just how we're headed. And they've just foretold these signs, the Imams.
But I heard it's going to get a lot worse before the Imam comes.
It will definitely get a lot worse.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Do you want to dig a bit deeper and make me go home depressed today? Come on, bro. What is this? We're trying to learn about our savior, the Imam of our time.
Unfortunately, the narrations say that the earth will be filled with injustice. But the bright side is the Imam will fill it with justice.
Inshallah.
That's why it's important to pray for him. That's why, sometimes we put our hope in other people. This leader will restore peace, and that leader will. That president is a no war president. The only one who we should have our hope in, Sahib al-Zaman. And I think today that's proven. Everybody's failing. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the great Jeremy Corbyn is nowhere to be seen. We've got no hope in anyone, honestly.
Was he your savior before this
I
conversation?
thought he would have helped. He was more of a socialist, like it was gonna.
No fallible will be the savior.
Yeah. So
I think we're waiting for the infallible.
What about the Shia cities that we have around the world? The likes of Tehran, Qom, Baghdad, Najaf, Karbala.
So we'll start with maybe one city. There are, of course, these cities that have been mentioned in the narrations before Dhuhr, Qabla Dhuhr. Tehran, for example, has come up in narrations. Qom has come up in narrations. And of course, these you can find in the Kitab al-Ghayba of Sheikh Tusi, Kitab al-Ghayba of al-Nu'mani, Bihar al-Anwar of al-Majlisi. A lot of scholars have recorded, sometimes the whole book is on Ghayba, sometimes chapters are on Ghayba, sometimes volumes. So you can find these in the books of those signs. Tehran, for example, which is known as Ar-Ray in the old name, has come up in narrations where some of the narrations say that Tehran will be destroyed, and come a time that فَأَمَّا الرَّيْ فَوَيْلٌ, as the narrations say, that as for Tehran, it will be destroyed. Some of the narrations say it will be destroyed from both sides. Now what that means is open interpretation. People can take it different way. Destroy could mean you could destroy it through a natural disaster. You could destroy it due to warfare.
Economically,
You could destroy it economically. You can
Socially.
religiously.
It might not be physically destroyed. It might be spiritually destroyed. You know.
Yes.
So there might be no morale there left anymore, or anything, or something like that.
One of the narrations from Hudhayfa al-Yaman says that the Prophet, when he speaks of array of the end of times, he says that my sunnah and my ahkam will be wiped out from there.
Oh wow!
So,
Sorry to interject, but technically this has already happened, no? Before the new government in the old Shah, wasn't Tehran known for its lavish lifestyle? Let's say.
we can't pinpoint anything. You could say it was different to how it is now. You could say it would probably had more open sin.
yeah, it fluctuates like we
Yeah.
mentioned earlier. Just there's good times,
Yeah.
bad times.
But we can't, the thing is we can't apply anything unless we're sure. So at most we have is interpretations of scholars and what they decide to go with. So Tehran will be destroyed, for example. But then when it speaks of Qum, the narrations are total opposite. Huwa ma'danu shi'atina. This Qum, this place known as Qum, which is obviously right next to Tehran, it is the source of our Shia, it is the home of our Shia.
Ajib.
Qum has been praised in narrations. Yeah, hadith of the Ahlulbayt, when it comes to Qum, there's a lot of praise. The people of Qum will be Ahlul Iman.
Okay.
The people of Qum are those who are close to the Qa'im min Ali Muhammadin alayhi salam. The people of Qum will be... what's interesting is when Tehran is destroyed, so one other thing that's mentioned is when Tehran is destroyed, the people of Tehran will take refuge in Qum.
Qum's a very small city. This is
haven't
the
been
maths is not mathsing for me right now.
Really?
Because if you were to destroy a massive city like Tehran, Qum must be. So that's why it might not be militarily or, for example, like that. Because Qum would definitely be affected. And how many million live in Qum?
Qum has grown over time. Qum is growing. It was smaller, it's grown. It's probably going to continue to grow. So, did you get...
Yeah. 16.8 million.
16.
Yeah, still a massive
That's a
population.
lot. That's more than double London.
Yeah.
Wow.
16.8 million.
Massive city. But Qum will continue to grow. Where has Qum come? Imagine the size of Qum now as it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's grown massively. Yeah.
Imagine it before that. So it's probably going to continue to grow. But interestingly, yeah, it says that Qum will be, it is the source of the Shia, will be the source of, it will be a place of refuge for the Shia. People of Tehran at that time will take refuge there, and the people Ahlul Qum will give them that safety. The other thing that Qum is mentioned for is its ilm. The narration that speak of ilm disappearing from Kufa, like a snake disappears into its hole, and then re-emerging in Qum, to the extent that even the women who sit at home and make bread will know something of the ilm of the deen,
Ajib.
ilm al-deen,
MashaAllah.
which is interesting. And it shows you that we're close to the Dhuhur. Of course, we have, Qum is now a famously known
This is, yeah.
city of ilm, city of
Yeah, well
knowledge.
established.
So there is praise for Qum in the narrations, and as such, I don't in my humble research, I haven't found anything in regards to the destruction of Qum. So perhaps, God forbid, if there's things go worse, if there's a war or anything, inshallah Qum will be
A
safe.
lot of my friends, like in Kuwait and Bahrain, even from the UK, have started actually purchasing like land and property in Qum.
Really?
It's crazy, yeah. Like literally last week or a couple of weeks ago, I got. It's not cheap. It's about these narrations. It's a place of refuge for the Shia,
It's a safe haven.
and people are investing. So
Might be a
Yeah,
good time.
there are
makes
narrations
sense,
on this, that flee to Qum. Qum, of course, Haram Ahlulbayt. Najaf Haram Amir alayhi salam.
Salamullah alayhi.
You have Medina, Haramun Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Allah has a haram which is Makkah. This is the hadith of the 6th Imam, salamullah alayhi. And Qum is the haram of Ahlul Bayt, alayhim salatu wasalam. This is, of
It's
course,
under the umbrella of the Ahlulbayt. It's mentioned.
it is as if going to Qum, like say the Ma'suma salamullah alayhi,
Salam.
ziyarah is like ziyarah of all of Ahlul Bayt.
Salamullah alayha.
Salamullah.
And what's interesting is this is, of course, said before the burial of Sayyidah Fatima to Ma'suma.
Ajib.
And so many of the narrations say the Fatima, Ma'asuma Salamullahi alayha, said by the 60th Imam, 70th Imam before even her birth.
Look at the manzila of Sayyidah Fatima al-Ma'suma alayhi salam.
MashaAllah.
But do we have narrations that, what about Mashhad?
Mashhad, by name itself, not so much, but Khurasan is mentioned.
Khurasan, okay, yeah.
A lot. Of course, then you
Of
have the
course.
Khurasani and,
Okay.
So Khurasan is mentioned a lot. The other debate about Khurasan is Khurasan that which exists today as in Iran?
Or the
Yeah, he said it
older.
was
Khurasan
different.
which is traditionally takes in a lot of the
Afghanistan.
Afghani region
Yeah.
and
Some parts of Pakistan as well.
Samarkand.
Yeah.
That, sorry?
Yeah. Some parts of Pakistan, I think, were part of it as well, like the northern Kashmiri sides.
I don't know about that.
But it was more of a region than a city itself. Okay.
It was a
Sort
lot.
of the Central Asian region, Samarkand as well,
Okay.
touching Rus, touching
Okay.
Russia.
Oh wow.
That sort of area
That's
was
all
all
them
Khurasan.
Turkmenistan, Tajik, the ex-Soviet Union ones, them sides.
That's going to be ultimate punch-ups if it gets to there.
That's mainland Russia.
Oh, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, about to say.
But you could look at the old Khurasan. You could
See,
find
it makes a big difference if we misinterpret some narrations.
Yeah.
Either specify a city or a region, and that redefines the entire
you have to
discussion.
take it in the traditional sense.
Always,
The way
Like
it
a
was intended.
Shamat. Sham is what?
Syria.
Not just no, it's not
it's the
Syria.
Levant, Syria,
Oh.
Lebanon, Palestine,
Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
That whole.
These are
oh wow.
what
that
was
whole
traditionally known as.
Yeah, Sham is not just Syria.
Unless of course a city is known by name.
region. Yes.
Array, for example. Kufa. Kufa's come up a lot in the narrations. Kufa has come up the most in the narrations qabla al-zuhur.
Positively or negatively? That's the question. Like, is this a place of refuge for the Shia?
It's not a place to. No, it's not really positive in that sense. That it's not safe.
Tell us.
Things would get bad.
For the people of that city?
Yeah, for Kufa itself, for its people. Some of the narrations say the mu'minin will leave Kufa. Like it's interesting. You mentioned that some people have bought flats in Qom and land in Qom, which makes sense. I don't think I would ever live in Kufa because as you get close to Dhuhr, things just get worse. The bloodshed, the war.
You're saying Kufa right now, but Kufa's Najaf, no? What is today known as Najaf, the city?
No,
of-
Kufa
Oh,
is the
city
ancient
Najaf.
city.
Or is it specifically you're talking about what is Kufa back then as well?
It's pretty much the same. It's
Yeah.
just slightly smaller, I guess,
Najaf
now.
obviously now is Najaf, which is Dhahr al-Kufa,
Yeah.
which was the back of Kufa.
Yeah.
Okay, but Kufa itself is an ancient town. It's an ancient city, like no city.
I thought Kufa now is like an area or a town in Najaf city. Because Najaf's obviously
No,
expanded. Oh, it's its
sort
own
of.
thing.
It's,
Kufa's
it's
its own-
also its own thing.
Really?
Yeah, forget politically who governs it, but it's still its own thing.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm sure it's grown, it's gone bigger, but yeah, it was one of the historic cities. You know that people
It was,
traveled.
it was the
Kufa.
capital of Amir al-Mu'minin. Yeah. Even
Exactly.
before that, it was
Yeah.
established.
It was established by the second caliph, Kufa. Like Baghdad was established.
Built or like established as
Built.
a. It was complete. So it was just
Kufa is his. And
Ajib.
so was Baghdad by Al-Mansur.
Ajib. Yeah.
Samarra was also built by the Abbas.
Correct.
Abbas.
Yeah, the minarets, the Maluwiya, still there. The remnants of
Samarra.
Yeah, Samarra.
Yes. Yeah, nobody goes to it. Everybody goes to Imamain al-Askariyain.
You just see it from far.
Alhamdulillah.
But it's an historical thing. You can see it from far.
So you're saying
But Kufa itself, it's an unstable place, basically. And the narrations speak of bloodshed. The narrations speak of war.
Wow.
There's an interesting, actually, narration which is of the falling of the wall of Masjid of Kufa.
I was literally, that was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, because they mention it when you go
Who's
to
heard this?
ziyarah,
Have you
eh?
heard
It's not
this?
just, no, it's not about hearing it. It's about seeing it there now.
Yeah.
There is a massive crack that's been on the wall, on one of the walls of the Masjid of Kufa. And it's been there for like 20 years and they have not been able to repair it.
Oh, I thought we were talking
And
about...
I've always linked it to that
There's like a little courtyard wall as well, isn't it?
on the outside of the
Yeah,
courtyard.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's linked to this,
So
but I've
is it
always
that
had.
wall you're talking about, or you're talking about inside the Masjid al-Kufa, one of the...
So it's interesting that the narrations speak of the falling of one of the four walls of Masjid al-Kufa. But if you read the narration, it says the wall that falls of Masjid al-Kufa will be the wall that faces the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the problem is, the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud is no longer there and we don't know where it is or where it was.
Oh,
Which means we don't know which wall it is. However, if you examine the narration further, it says when that wall falls, the king of Iraq will fall, his government will fall. Which basically means the government of that time will fall.
the government of
So
Iraq.
if a wall of that mosque falls one day, which leads to the falling of the government of Iraq of that time, we can almost certainly say that this is from Alaim of Dhuhr.
I'll send this to the producer as well, but that's the one. It's been like that for the past 15 years. It's on the verge of falling.
Yeah,
see?
I've seen this.
I will send it to the producer as well.
Oh, that one.
Every time I go past or visit Masjid al-Kufa, my eye just catches it. And then I remember this narration. So it's scary.
But what is important is that for that wall to be confirmed, the narration says once that wall falls, it has to fall. It follows the following of the fall of the government.
It follows the fall of the government.
So the wall will fall.
And then the fall of the
That
government.
follows the fall
Okay,
of the king of Iraq, which could mean the prime minister or the
leader
power
or the government.
or the ruling party
Sure.
whoever is in charge. We don't have
Ajib.
kings anymore.
So again, open to a bit of interpretation.
Yeah. So because we don't know which side of the mosque was the house of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.
Yeah. It's funny you mention this because we are very, very familiar that Imam Zaman, when he arrives, he will establish and make his headquarters Kufa, no?
Exactly. So
So
Kufa.
all of this bad things happening to Kufa, and this is like meant to
But
be...
this is before Dhuhr. That stability comes when the Imam now comes to.
Okay.
قبل الظهور بعد الظهور. Okay? The Imam Salamullah alayhi is not here yet. This is what's happening in Kufa.
Wow.
One of the narrations says that on the day of Jum'ah, outside Masjid al-Kufa, from the Babul Fil or Babul Tha'ban, which is one of the ancient gates of this masjid, from there to the souq, to the marketplace, where they sell soap, sabun, where they sell that. From there to there, on a day of Jum'ah, some sort of a clash will take place, which will lead to the killing of 4,000 men.
Ajib.
So the bab, we know where it is. The door, we know where it is. But this souq or this place which sells soap, nobody knows where that is. Maybe it will come, maybe it will be a shop, maybe it will be
Maybe somewhere that's already gone.
somebody will... No, it can't be gone because...
Or maybe, so can it not mean the
might
place
be.
where that souk was at one point? Or... Because if people know this narration, I don't think it will come and open up a
No.
soap shop.
No, it's because the narration is dealing with the future. It's possible that what the Imam means is the door and the shop or the marketplace.
Sure.
It's possible in the future there may be a place there. Not that there was one in the past now and then something will happen
Yeah.
there in the future.
Sure.
Who knows? Anyways, it's open to interpretation. But in that short space, there will be the killing of 4,000 men.
That sounds like an imminent sign.
And some scholars have commented on this actually. They've said that it's possible that there will be a clash between the people and the government. In today's, if you put it into
So
context
it's
today.
not-
But that's
It's not an
I don't say that's
earthquake.
happened.
So an earthquake and then the wall fell and then 4,000 people died.
Well,
between,
that's a very good point actually. What if the wall falls from a natural disaster?
yeah.
What if it's through itself falls over eventually? What if, God forbid, something else happens? God forbid.
A tank went through it or something.
Something like that. The hadith is quiet about this. So nobody can make a judgment. Nobody can say for sure how that will happen. Is it natural disaster or not? We have no information on that from the narrations.
Ajib.
But as you can see, there's a lot of instability in Kufa. Mu'mineen will empty out from Kufa eventually.
Up until the Dhuhr.
Up until the Dhuhr. Of course, with Dhuhr, with the coming of the Imam, he will come back into the city of his grandfather.
Okay, bring back the stability. Mu'mineen will come back.
Of course,
Right,
Imam
sure,
Zaman
sure.
is there, Sahib al-Zaman
Sure.
is there, then inshallah things will be different.
Listen to stories from the elders, and I think some scholars who mention if you go every Tuesday
Yeah.
for 40
Maghrib.
Tuesdays at Maghrib to Masjid al-Sahla, I think you interact with the Imam.
Yeah, there
Tracks
are
with you?
ulama who have done a'mal for
Sure.
40 nights or so
Sure.
and have had encounters with the 12th Imam. So there are narrations like that. Marhum Ayatollah said Bahr al-Ulum in one of the processions of A'za in Karbala. He went with his students. I think it was either Ashura or Arba'in. I can't remember which of the 2 days it was. And he took off his ammam and he jumped into this.
Oh, that's the running, the Tawrij.
Is that
The Tawrij run, Ashura.
Perhaps it was
Yeah.
them.
So
Khawarij.
you know this. On Yom al-Ashar, one of the rituals is the running from Tawrij.
yeah.
So the name was Sayyid
Bahr al-Ulum.
Bahr al-Ulum. He saw people running. He was standing watching the people run the ritual, and then all of a sudden he takes his imam off, he takes his shoes off, and he started running with him. And then his students were like, "So what are you doing? What are you doing? This is not like appropriate for you." He goes, "I saw my imam in there running."
Ajib.
He goes, "I saw my imam running, so I went and ran with him." You know this story?
I've
It's
not-
very famous.
Yeah, it's in the books.
Yeah.
The encounter of the 12th Imam with Said Bahr al-Ulum and other ulama as well. They've had such encounters. So we're not against such meetings, whether they happen in Kufa or in Qum.
But those who say they've met the Imam in their lifetime while they're alive, because there's
Yeah, so this is another topic, and usually they don't say that. Sometimes what happens is
in the wasiyah.
wasiya or in a book or a diary, they may find something. But if somebody comes out and says, I have met the Imam, or somebody comes and says, I am the son of the Imam,
Classic.
then
Quite a few of them in London.
This is problematic. Yeah. No. So usually it's not the case as such. Usually you find out much later
Sure.
from the works of the scholars or some writings, or for example, Sheikh Mufid has a famous letter associated with him, that he had a letter through his
Ajib.
through his house, and that sort of thing. It's not like an everyday thing, but for sure it's something that is possible. The Imam chooses, of course, who and when and where.
Ajib.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. So we've mentioned Najaf, Kufa, we've mentioned Tehran.
Najaf, we haven't mentioned.
Oh,
We have
Bahr
men-
al-Kufa. We haven't actually spoken about
Yeah,
it.
so Najaf has come up in narrations as well. Hijaz has come up in narrations. So because we're focused on the Middle East, Najaf and Hijaz is interesting. Some of the narrations mention both of them together. Hijaz, as you know, is
Saudi Arabia today,
Makkah,
yeah.
Medina, that sort of a region. The narrations say there will be a great fire in Hijaz,
okay.
and water shall flow in Najaf.
Oh,
And it's interesting, some of the interpretations the ulama have come forward. It is said that, many years back in the Islamic calendar, 654 AH, Hijri Qamari, there was a huge fire that ripped through Medina.
okay.
Some ulama have said that this sign is ticked off.
It's been done.
Yeah. Some may say no, it may be. But anyway, some have said. And in regards to water flowing through Najaf, some of the scholars, is interesting, their interpretation, it would never come to your mind, but it speaks of what they interpret this to be is that Najaf was dry, barren, dead land. Now there are water pipes in the homes, water is flowing.
Okay.
So they say they tick this off. But then there's another tradition from Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, which says in Najaf clearly there will be floods.
Oh.
It is a dry city. Jaf and
Jeff has
Najaf,
been
yeah.
dry, yeah.
So now you have a dilemma, because one person isn't interpreted like this, but then when the narrations clearly say that there will be flooding in Najaf, which will be very close to the Dhuhr.
There's a sea in Najaf, no?
Bahr al-Najaf.
Bahr
Bahr
al-Najaf,
al-Najaf, yeah.
which was dry for a bit and now it's just back. And it could be linked to that.
So there is, and also the narrations speak of a lot of rain before the 12th Imam.
The barakah.
In Najaf and other areas. So their water will flow, could be flooding, could be... Iraq itself, what's interesting is that Iraq, before the Dhuhr, really close to the Dhuhr, perhaps even a year or so, will have the rule of a Turkic rule.
Really?
Yeah.
To the Ottoman Empire.
We've already had that.
We
haven't
had that
We've
up
had-
until 100 years
yeah.
ago.
So what's interesting is that there seems to be, from the narrations, another Turkic rule.
Another Turkic rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Because it's come up in the narrations.
It's very interesting. If you allow me to say it now.
Please go ahead.
Do you see, why do you think they made Ertugrul for?
The show.
Yeah.
Why?
You don't know. So basically, apparently, Mecca and Medina was with the Ottoman Empire. They leased it out to the Saudis. Even in Hajj, the Turks used to do the security and everything.
Okay.
One year they didn't do it, and then they had the stampede in Hajj.
Okay.
And the Turks had to come back and sort everything out. Basically, the Turks used to own mainstream Islam under the Ottoman Empire.
Sure.
Since they've lost that, since it's become secular, Turkey has been like financially, it's been doing really bad. The economy is not really good. The country's been going on a downhill, and they're like, we used to be something. We used to be the Muslims that used to rule this whole empire.
Now we don't have a hold on it.
They're trying to fuel it again.
Okay.
The lease for the Kaaba is almost over. It's going to go back to the Turks.
That's not going to happen.
The Saudis ain't going to.
But you
give
can
it
see
up.
their foothold in Syria.
But you can see the Turks
Yeah.
are trying to. It's that same thing. We used to be something once,
Yeah.
and now we're nothing, and they want to reclaim that. Hence, Orthogal in that there's going to be like an Islamic
They're trying to revive
revival.
the
There will be an
sure.
Islamic revival in Turkey. So, say they're telling me that the Turks will take over.
But does the narration
It doesn't
say
surprise me at
twice
all.
they'll take over the land?
The
or-
narrations actually, it's a good question. Some of the narrations speak of 3 Turkic rules.
Okay.
Oh,
And one of the ulama, I was reading the works of Sheikh Talib Johri of
yeah,
Pakistan.
We've had 2 at the moment. Yeah.
He was also a student of Sayyid al-Khou'i and Sayyid Muhammad Baqir al-Sadr. He says that the first Turkic rule was that of Halaku Khan
okay.
when he attacked Baghdad and he established the Ilkhanate Empire in Iran, sort of Persia area, which was a Turkic empire,
Sure.
Turkic influence. The second was the
Ottomans.
Seljuks and the Ottomans.
The Seljuk.
Seljuk Ottoman was the same because they're the sons.
Same lineage, yeah.
Ottomans are from. So the Ortogorn was married to Halima, Hatun Halime. She was one of the princesses of the Seljuks. So that's where they are joined. That was the second rule.
I had to send you the other series. Historically, you'll
Thank you.
open your eyes.
I haven't seen the series, but I've
Neither
read
have
it. I don't know if it's.
So what are you selling us then? You're just selling us the stories.
I've heard there's too many episodes. I don't have that time.
Skip. Yeah.
So 2 rules they've had, 1 rule remains. That's the view of Allama Talib Johri in his works. And it seems that 3rd rule, and of course Iraq was has been ruled by the Turks anyway.
Up until very recently.
The Khaddam
Not just that.
still wear the
A
uniform.
lot of the culture in Karbala is of Turkish origins. A lot of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
My grandma's Turkish.
mashallah.
They had the region for hundreds of years. So what do you expect? Yeah.
So it seems that there is 1 last remaining, and you can see that sometimes, when you watch the news, what's happening with the what's his name, Erdogan of Turkey, continuously speaking about the caliphate and trying to
Ortogol. Yeah, something there.
There's a revival.
That's qiyas.
No, but there's a revival in progress right now. So yeah, 100%.
There is definitely a revival, and that's why they, once Bashar fell, Turks were in.
They've got half the country.
Really?
Yeah, north of Syria is all Turkey. Have you not seen Trump when he goes, this guy has done a good job taking over Syria, just to his face?
Wow.
Yeah, he was clever. He took over
So
Syria.
it's perhaps, and I don't know, I don't want to say anything, it's on the record, but you can see that they have this within them still, that they were a superpower.
Yeah.
Ottomans were a superpower.
Yeah.
They
But
went,
even now, the Turkish army, I think it's the 5th or 6th biggest army in the world.
just
Right.
imagine
They're
this, right?
serious
This is their
contenders.
rule from the Euphrates, Farat, to the Danube
Where's the
that
Danube?
runs through Europe,
Yeah.
Austria.
Yeah.
Whoa, they're going to take over all of that.
No, they were already
Already
taking.
taken
They were
over,
already
yeah.
took that. That was their rule.
Austria, I think Bulgaria,
They
Mashallah.
went and fought all the way up to Hungary.
Hungary. is
Hungary,
definitely-
they couldn't beat Hungary.
Is this why that the Albanians and the Bosnians,
Albanians.
they're all Muslim? Is that why? Is it the Turkish influence?
Yeah, they were married into the Albanians.
Ah.
I think. Again, I watched the series on this. Maybe it's not the best source for historical, but the Fatih of Constantinople or Istanbul, his mother was a Albanian princess.
Okay.
So I think there were connections there.
Fair.
So I mean, you could imagine if it continues to spread, grow, it could pick up some power movement, and if these traditions are Of course, these traditions have to be examined with the sanad, and you have to. There's examination that
It's
can
all
be
up to
done.
interpretation. Well, everything
Can
we're
be
saying is
done,
open to
yeah.
interpretation.
But if we take these traditions that they are 100% true and authentic, then
so what's
there could be room for this progressing.
what was the
further.
wording used? They will rule.
They will have 3 rules.
So the third rule, they will conquer, or they will economically rule, or they
No,
will.
the third rule is because the narration that I mentioned is that Iraq will be under Turkic rule.
Under Turkic rule.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So
So they would have, okay, fine.
so
Yeah.
they like it was in the past.
Sure.
Like under the Ottomans. So yeah, if you compare it with the narration, these are 2 different narrations, of course. One says Iraq will be under Turkic rule,
Okay.
which if you take the narration on its own, that's already happened. But the other narration that say the Turks will have 3 rules.
That's why you
If
shouldn't
you-
look at one narration on its own. Yeah,
If you
sure.
bring those together now, that means Iraq was under it, is not under it, and will be under it again.
Sure.
Which means that is now very close. That third rule is connecting to the Dhuhr.
Wow.
Allah knows best.
So Najaf is back in the hands of the Turks once again.
Well, Allah knows best what's happening. I mean, at the end of the day,
Is it a bad rule? Is it a good rule?
there's no details.
There's no details.
No.
That's the thing as well. Maybe
Were they bad
maybe
last time? I don't
may-
think they were that bad last time.
Like I said, a lot of the culture in our azat,
Yeah.
the way we dress, the way we have our techies, the lights, it's all
Yeah.
Turkish. So I don't know if it's bad or good, but like I said, if there's no details, I don't think we should be so depressing.
I mean, Iraq has been under far worse. The Umayyads,
Yeah.
the
Always the
Abbasis, the
Abbas,
Saddams,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Genghis Khan and his lot.
so.
What about Baghdad?
But the point is, that goes back to my point, that the grave of Imam Hussein will remain where it is.
Salamullah.
Salamullahi alayhi. Tyrants will come and go. Something that can never be defeated is the love of Hussein.
Salamullah.
Until Imam Salamullahi alayhi returns. Baghdad, on the other hand, you just mentioned Baghdad. Just very briefly, shortly just mentions that Baghdad will be destroyed.
Really?
So that could mean war. Baghdad already was, and
Yeah.
you remember in 2006, 7, 8, and that sort of.
Oh, 2003, 2007, 2000.
Bomb blasts every
blast
day.
everywhere.
Even recently, there was civil unrest with maybe I shouldn't say too much, but there was like protests and riots in regards to the government, certain country influencing too much, and
but
people out on the
how
streets.
far back are we saying? What about when Baghdad was razed to the ground, the House of Wisdom was destroyed? Could it refer to that?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was
that-
the actual
That was
destroying
Alama
of Baghdad.
Majlisi's time, wasn't it? And when Sheikh Tusi went over to Najaf with the remaining books, they destroyed that. And Baghdad had the biggest houser back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Halaqu Khan. Yeah, it could be. Or it could be something to do with modern warfare.
Okay.
Same thing is, same sort of wording exists for Basra. So just Iraq generally has a lot of instability associated with it when it comes to the whole.
Classic. Yeah.
Has a lot of, unfortunately, has a lot of instability when it comes to the Dhuhr of the 12th Imam Salamullahi alayhi. Now, there's an interesting point I want to mention while we're at it. Do we have time?
We got plenty of time for you.
For you said no, we're here till the morning.
No. Very kind of you both. There's an interesting narration which is sometimes used or misused or abused, is that when the Imam marches towards Kufa, 16,000 or some fuqaha will come out against him.
I've heard that so
who's heard
many
this?
I've heard this.
I've heard about specifically Shia scholars against the Imam. I've heard,
From Kufa, did
fighting-
you say? Or from Iraq?
From Kufa.
From Kufa. So the 100 they'll be Shia. If it's according to this narration, yeah.
I don't know, but I've heard in regards to Shia.
Let's say what
the Shia
you've
ulama
heard, what's
against-
being said out there.
Shia ulama against the Imam of the time, saying, "We don't need you. Go back. We got under
Arja'
under
ibn
control." Yeah, things like that.
La hajata lana. We don't have any need for you. They will come out and say such things. What have you, Hussein? What have you?
Irja' ibn Fatima, that's the one that I've heard. I've heard the 16,000. I've heard 40,000 scholars will come out.
Oh, have you heard the beheading?
I've heard the
of
beheading
scholars?
of all the
beheading
scholars.
of scholars. Yeah, the Imam beheading scholars.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
We're in for a ride.
I'm not a scholar. Oh.
You're in for a ride.
I'm not a scholar either.
Nice knowing you say it. Nice knowing you say it. Time to distance myself
But
from
yeah,
you.
say there's plenty.
I'm just a
of,
student.
But saying that there's plenty of narrations and plenty of it being brought forward as well, whether it's on the member or on social media or whatever. It's common and it's a known fact.
I haven't heard it on the minbar, to be fair.
A Pakistani member, you definitely would have heard it, especially if it's a Malangi one. 100% it's there.
So the narration says that the 12th Imam goes towards Kufa.
Sure.
And some fuqaha come out. And 16,000 perhaps in the narrations. And they say, go back to where you came from. We actually don't need you. Okay? So there's a couple of things here. Another narration says, apparently it's from Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, that had it not been that the 12th Imam carries a sword, the scholars would give a fatwa of his murder, of his death, of his killing. They would sign a death warrant for him. Like Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his death warrant was signed by Qadi Shuray. What's interesting is that both of the narrations, the sanad is rejected.
Okay.
Number one, because the rawat of the hadith are majhul, they're unknown. Number one. The second one, in fact, that if the son of Fatima did not have a sword, the scholars would give a fatwa of his death, is not even a hadith, actually. If you research it, it's actually the words of this Sunni Sufi scholar, what's his name? The Sufi, like Rumi and the other guy, what's his name? Ibn Arabi.
Ibn Arabi.
Oh,
Ibn Arabi is
That guy's making stuff up left, right, and center.
so it's something he said because of his difference because of his infighting with the fuqaha of the time.
Oh, wow.
So in his works, he has a book,
Yes.
Futuhat al-Makkiyah. In that he writes that when the 12th Imam comes, the fuqaha will oppose him. And also the word fuqaha at that time was meant for Sunni fuqaha. And nowhere in the hadith does it say Shia ulama, by the way. If anyone says that to you, you have to bring the hadith, you have to bring the matnul hadith, the text of hadith. Where does it say Shia Imamiyya Ithna Ashariya?
Yeah, but if we're talking about regions, let's assume it's authentic hadith for a second. But if we're talking about regions and context, if they're saying Kufa, then more likely than not, Shia scholars.
But
So it doesn't always have to in the nas say specifically.
But don't forget, Kufa is also where the residence of the Imam will be. So maybe the Sunni fuqaha are coming to him.
So two things. Number one, that's a good point.
I'm lost. Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
But is Kufa all Shia? No. Kufa always had this split from Imam Hussein alayhi salam's time. Even now it has.
Yeah.
Even now the worst of the worst are in Kufa, and the best of the best were from Habib ibn Madahir, Muslim ibn Awsaja, Kufi. The best of the best are from Kufa, and the worst of the worst also come from Kufa. And maybe there's no way to suggest that what I'm trying to say is that there's no evidence to suggest that they are Shia ulama. They say things like they will be scholars, they will have the sign of
The
sajda
prostration, yeah.
on their foreheads, but everybody has that. The Wahhabis have it more than everybody, and they don't even use a turba.
The salahs don't even accept it,
Carpet,
but let's not get through it. No wilayah. Yeah.
But the point is that there is no way to suggest as Shia scholars. Number two, Kufa doesn't mean that it's all Shia. There's a lot of non-Shia in Kufa. There is now and there will be until that time. And three, like you said, it could be people that have traveled out there because they know Imam is going towards Kufa to oppose him. It could be people who have come out to fight him.
Sure. And four, it's not authentic.
Four, that's another issue.
Yeah,
that's a totally Rijali. If you want to go from a totally Rijali point of view, if you want to take that, both of the narrations are rejected anyhow.
Okay.
But what's our
this
point?
will open a lot more doors.
But what's our point?
Yeah.
Forget about the Rijali, man. Our point is, let's say the hadith is correct. It doesn't apply to Shia ulama. It applies to non-Shia ulama. It applies to the rejectors, the fuqaha. Who are the fuqaha? You could be a non-Shia and still be a faqih.
Could it be those who claim to be Shia?
Possibly. It could be. But in the general sense...
Because you do get a lot of them, sorry to cut, you do get a lot of people who come out nowadays and say, like you mentioned earlier, I am the son of the Imam, I'm the representative of the Imam, I am this, I'm that, and they claim to be Shia. But obviously it's against...
Well, if they claim to be Shia, then... And they oppose the 12th Imam, they're not Shia.
Yeah, so maybe just by name?
And then they're exposed then.
Okay, yeah.
Their reality comes out.
Sure.
Reality comes out. So, My point is that if somebody comes up to you and says, look, these Shia scholars, their necks are going to get hit by the sword of the 12th Imam, or they are the first ones who are the enemies of the 12th Imam, there's no evidence for that. Narrations are weak. Nowhere does it say they're Shia scholars. Being from Kufa doesn't mean that they are all Shia. And number 4, even if, let's say, there's a few bad apples in the basket, why do these people who misuse this then forget those narrations where the scholars are praised?
Yeah.
Which are much more.
Give us some, because the people are watching this and they probably never heard the scholars that are praised being with the 12th Imam or the 12th Imam.
The Talib al-Ilm, the one who goes to gain the ilm, the one who gives Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says, the one who sits in the masjid and gives a fatwa. I love that person. The one who teaches our deen, the one who learns the Quran and then passes on the Quran. And for those who are saying this, that Imam Mahdi alayhi salam will do this, who taught them about Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam?
True.
Those people who
taught them that
ulama.
hadith? Yeah. Who taught them that hadith?
Who taught them that?
And for a city of a couple of 100,000 as well, 16,000 few bad apples as well. It's not like there's been a much larger ratio.
But
of people
that's what I'm saying.
killed,
That's if 16,000 are all, which is impossible. But my point is, who taught them Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman? Who taught them the hadith of Zuhur, of Khuruj, of the 12th Imam? Who taught them the love of Ahlulbayt, the ulama? Who else was it? You know, the Imam is not here. The Imam is not going to come directly and say it. Your parents taught it. Where did your parents get it from? Read it in the books. Who wrote the book? Allama al-Malisi, Sheikh al-Tusi, Sheikh al-Mufid.
So I'm telling you that the Imam is going to come kill me. That's basically what that's, As an alim, that's what I'm teaching you, basically.
Sayyidina, thank you so much for coming again onto the Shia Vibes podcast. It was a pleasure
We
having you.
have to have a part 3. We can't end it like that. Because I want to get into the whole Rijali, Usuli, Akhbari narrations and understanding of that.
You guys are going to get me in trouble.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
Sukhni, thank you very much for coming and being your lovely self, getting the Sayyid into trouble.
That's what we're here to do, man.
Santo, Allah bless you. No, it's good to have these discussions because they're being discussed anyway. And, you know, it's okay to have difficult conversations as long as they're done in the right manner with the right evidences and dalail. And I hope I've cleared this misconception today, at least for the viewers, that, you know, the scholars are not the enemies of the 12th Imam. The scholars will step down when the 12th Imam comes and they will place our ammama. I'm not a scholar, but they will place the ammama in the feet of the 12th Imam. Salaamullah alayhi.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you to all the viewers for joining us on this episode of the Shia Vibes podcast. Inshallah, we'll have a new discussion on the next episode. Big shout out and a thank you to our background staff, Muhammad Fahad, Muhammad Rida Ma'ash, Salman Bai, Amir Raza, and the whole team here at Imam Hussein TV, trying to give you the best in Shia television broadcasting. I've been Mohsin Shah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.